Hello, fellow Sudokans, and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle for Tuesday, the 26th of April 2022. I hope you are keeping well. Um, Today, the Guardian Sudoku puzzle is listed as medium, but if we follow the normal Guardian pattern, I can say that it should be like an easy level puzzle if it follows the normal pattern of Guardian Tuesdays. And so, if you are a beginner, stay here. Don't run away because I'm sure that this will be just the kind of thing that we will appeal to you. Now, I say that based on past experience, but also I must say that occasionally, from time to time, they throw a spanner in the works to throw us off throw us off track a bit. But if you are a beginner, I'll explain the rules for you. So, how does the game of Sudoku work? Well, it starts with these 9 squares in each of the rows across and 9 squares in every column down, as you can see. Now, some of the squares already contain digits. Here we have 8, 1, 9, and 2 already. And you'll notice here we have number 9, which is the highest number, and here we have number 1, which is the lowest number. So we write numbers from 1 to 9. We don't do zeros or anything. But this is not about maths. This is only about logic. So don't worry. As long as you can count to 9, that's all the maths you need. Now, as well as the excuse me, rows and columns, we also have these blocks. There's a block here. There's a block here. You can call them blocks or boxes or whatever you want to call them, really. My Little Square, if you like My Little Pony or something. I don't know, but whatever you call it. They also contain 9 squares. I almost said 9 empty squares. 9 squares, some of which are empty. In this case, we already have number 1 and number 4, but again, we are looking for digits 1 through 9, there's an American way of speaking, to fit into this little box here. Okay, and the same for each of the blocks. Here we already have 3, 5, 6, 7, and 4. We're looking for the other numbers. That means 1, 2, 8, and 9 to fill it up. Okay, so how do we go about doing this marvelous thing? Well, it's this idea of appearing once only is the thing that will allow us to work out the logic to get the answer. So, for example, when we spot this 7 blocking down here like this, and we spot this 7 blocking down here like this, we can assume some things. In this 7 in this column disallows any other squares from becoming a 7, and this does the same. So when we look at this box down here, we can see that this square, this square, this square, this square, and this square are already forbidden from becoming 7 by the 2 7s up on high. And so that leaves just one empty square, because obviously, look, we've got a 2 and a 9 here already. So we know that the 7 has to fit there because it can't go anywhere else. Now, with the game of Sudoku, there is only one solution. If you find only one square where a number can go, you can write it in immediately. Do not waste time looking for other possibilities. There are none. Okay. Right, so now I think you've got an idea of how to play the game. Let's continue along. Let's say 6 blocks down this column here, and 6 blocks down this column here, and 6 blocks across this row like this. So in this block down here, again, with only one empty white square, so we know that the 6 has to fit here. Right, your turn now. Find the 6 in this block here. Okay, well done. Yep, we've got 6s blocking across here and across here, and so that's the only space where 6 can go. Right, now you're an expert Sudoku player. I should just leave you to it, maybe. So as we, move through the game, there are not just that kind of technique. Some other ideas appear. So, for example, this 1 blocks across this row. This row is filled already, and now we have 2 empty squares, this one and this one. So the 1 either comes in this square or it comes in this square. Which is it? Oh, you don't know? No, neither do I. Neither does anyone else at this stage in time. We simply don't know. But what we do know is, if this is a 1, then 1 can't appear along here. And if this is a 1, well, 1 still can't appear along here. So whichever it is, whether it's here or here, these 3 squares cannot be 1 because we know that a 1 must appear eventually in either this square or this square. Okay. Now we have a 1 blocking across this row as well. So over here again, we're limited to just that single square where we can find our 1. Oh, now look, this looks nice, doesn't it? Because there's only 1 empty square in this whole row. Now, if we can count to 9, then we can work out what the missing number is. We can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm looking for 7, I'm looking for 7, I'm looking for 7, and I don't find 1. 8, 9. So this has got to be a 7 because it's the last space, the empty square. Now we also have 7 blocking across here, and so that's going to be a 7 down there. Okay. Now there are only 2 empty squares here. One good thing to do is to look through the numbers and find out what's missing. When you find what's missing, you find it's 4 and 9. Okay? And so 4 stops the square here from becoming 4, and 4 goes there, and 9 goes there. Oh, look, we've got a complete block here already, and we've got a complete row here already as well. Oops. So we've made some progress already, haven't we? You can see that. Now, the key thing about Sudoku is always trying to find the next place to look. So now I'm going to decide what goes in these 2 squares because we only have 2 empty squares here. And when we've worked out what goes here, whether or not we can place it, we can at least know what goes up here. So look, the missing squares down here are, the missing numbers along here are 3 and 5. We know that 3 and 5 are in these 2 squares here. Now we have to look up here to see if we've got any intersecting 3s or 5s, and no, we can't. No, we don't. So we don't know which one is the 3 and which one is the 5, so we have to leave it. But we do know this is 3 and 5. So if we know that this down here is 3 and 5, we can work out these numbers. Now, if you remember, we already said one of these is a 1. We said that before. But we can, find the rest. So we got 1, 2, 3 is here. 4 we don't have just yet. And also we've got this 4 blocking along here. So 1 and 4 actually block along here. So in fact, we know that 1 and 4 are in these 2 squares. And then we have to look up here for any intersecting 1s or 4s. And we don't find any. So that was a wasted journey. But it wasn't really wasted. It's kind of like in science, when you find that something doesn't work, you have in fact made a discovery, right? You've discovered something doesn't work. So that's good. It's all part of the thing. It means you have to look for something else, but at least you know that it's not that, or that's not where you should be looking now, and you can focus on another area. Right. So where should we look now? It's quite empty up here, isn't it? Pretty empty up here. So one thing you can do is, if you're playing on the computer, is you can kind of highlight numbers like this and see where they go by dragging them along their rows and columns. So for example, this one blocks across here and this one blocks up here. And when we do that, you can say, hey, look, there's only 1 empty square here, so we know that the 1 goes there. And now that I can see 1s and I see 1s intersecting down here, I'm getting a good feeling about this. So let's see, when 1 blocks across here and 1 blocks across here, that eliminates a lot of squares already. And then we have a 1 blocking up here and another 1 blocking up here. So 1 fits there. Now we can't finish them off because we know that 1s either appear here or here, and up here they can still appear in these squares at the moment. But wait, maybe we can help that situation by looking across here. So now we say 1 blocking up here, 1 blocking down here, and 1 across here. So now in fact we've got another digit 1, and we can place our 1 there. And now actually that is going to help us, and now I think we can finish it off. So when we say 1 blocking across here and 1 blocking across here and 1 down here, we know that that is a 1. And now, if you remember, 1 was in one of these 2 squares here, right? Well, it can't appear here now because of this, can it? And so our final digit 1 will go there. And now we have a 1 in every block. And so we don't have to be concerned with it. Now we can also get this number, because if you remember earlier on I said this has to be 1 or 4, but even if you can't remember that, you can look down here and see that the 4 blocks across there, and so the 4 must fit into that square. Have a look for digit 4 up here now. See what you can see about digit 4 in this top right block now. Okay, you've seen it, I think. We have 4 blocking up here, and we have 4 blocking across here, and so now we know that 4 is in that square. If we continue with the 4 that we just put in and drag it across this way, and 4 across this way, and 4 up here, guess what? We've got just one empty square where the 4 can go there. 4 down this way, 4 across here, and 4 up here. So we can place our 4 there. And right now, only this block here is lacking a 4. We have 4s in every other block. Now, when you get to this situation in Sudoku, if you haven't learned this before, learn it today. I think you probably learned it by now. If you have 8 of a particular number, you can always get the 9th iteration. So I know that I can get the 4 in this block because this is the only block that doesn't yet contain a 4. So let's see, 4 across here, 4 across here, and 4 down. Yeah, indeed, there is the final 4. So 1 and 4 are finished, and we don't have to worry our pretty heads about them anymore. Right, now what should we do next? Well, you know, sometimes you have to look and see if it works out or not, see if you find something or not. But here there are 3 numbers missing in this column, row, sorry. I mix up my rows and columns often. In this row there are only 3 digits missing, so we can work out what they are. We've got a 1, we don't have a 2, we've got a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we don't have 8 or 9. So these squares must contain 2, 8, and 9. We know that 2, 8, and 9 must fit here to complete the top row. Now, when we look down, we are fortunate because what we find is we find an 8 and a 9 in the same column that intersect with this row. Now, that's really good because when you think about it, this square, can it be 2? Yes. Can it be 8? No, because we have an 8 here. Can it be 9? No, because we've got 9 in the same column. So if it's not 8 and it's not 9, we know that it has to be 2, right? Okay, so now we are left with 8 and 9 here, but we don't have any key digits, that 8 or 9s down here that can tell us which is which just yet. So again, we just leave it and come back later. I feel like somebody on Blue Peter. Here's one that we made earlier. We'll leave that for later and check it out later. Right, what else do we need? Okay, in the same way that we had 3 empty squares up there, now we have 3 empty squares here. And when you look through this block, you'll find the missing numbers are 2, 8, and 9. So I want you to think about this. Right, what we are lacking here in this block is 2, 8, and 9. So have a good look around. Okay, I think that's long enough. And what did you find? You hopefully found 2 and 8 in the same row. So this square here, which is one of our missing 3, can it be 2? No. Can it be 8? No. Then what is it? Well, it has to be 9 because that's the only number missing from the set of 3 here, right? So now we know that these 2 squares must contain 2 or 8, but that doesn't particularly help us because we don't have 2 or 8 down here yet. To say which is which, and also when we look across we have 2s and 8s like this already, so won't help a great deal. That's okay, we have made some progress, some moves forward, some way forward. Okay. Right, now where should we look next? Okay, let's have a look at the missing 3 numbers in this column of 9. So we've got 1, we've got 2, there's no 3 yet. We've got 4, there's no 5, so that's 3, 5, and we don't have a 6, we've got 7, 8, 9. So 3, 5, and 6 are in these 3 squares here. We've got a 3, we've got a 6, but that's all, and we can't tell which is which. But if these are 3, 5, and 6, we certainly know that what must be in these two squares is not 3, 5, or 6, but will complete this block. So that means the two missing numbers have to be 2 and 9. These two squares have to contain 2 or 9 because in these three we have 3, 5, 6, and we have the other numbers 1, 4, 7, 8 here. Okay, so 2 and 9, and guess what? We've got an intersecting 2 here, so we know that the 2 goes here and the 9 goes there. Now we can take that 9 and say 9 blocking up here, 9 across here. That's our 9. Okay, and then when we look here at the missing numbers, we find the missing numbers are 3, 5 in this block. But I'm going to show you something which is a nice thing to learn when you're playing Sudoku, a nice thing to remember. We've got 2 empty numbers within this block, and they have to be 3 and 5 to complete the block, right? But when we take one of these empty squares and we look along this row, guess what? We find there's another empty square in this row, but only one, right? So what we know is that if this is 3 and 5, this is 3 and 5, but we can also know that this has to be either 3 or 5 as well, because there are only 2 empty squares in this row. So without even working it out, without even calculating what goes in here, we know it has to be 3 or 5 because we have these 2 squares containing 3 or 5. Got it? So this square here must contain 3 or 5, but look, guess what? We've got blocking 3. So we know it can't be 3, it must be 5, this must be 3, and this must be 5. Okay, hope you got that. Now we only have one number missing down here. The missing number is 3. And now we only have one number missing down here, which is a 5. Okay. All right, making lovely progress now, aren't we? Done a lot of stuff already. Where should we go from here? Well, it's not so easy to see where the next step is. So I think what we'll do is we'll just click on a digit and see what we have remaining and see if we can spot any patterns nice and easily, because often we can when we do that. Right, so this is the 2s. I can't see anything immediately that I know will finish the game off. So I will move on to the next digit. Oh, excuse me, which is 3. And what do I know about 3s? Okay, not that much. Now I'm not going to click on 4 because we've already done all of the 4s. So I'll click on 5 instead. Okay, and I don't see anything really useful there. So how about 6? Oh, also not finding anything immediately. So the 7's going to be much better right now. So how is the 7 going to be better? First of all, you may not see anything. But when you consider how we think about the next step, think about this. 7 blocks up here and 7 blocks across here, right? So in this block, where are the 7s possible? Well, in these 2 white squares only. Okay, so we know that one of these 2 squares is 7. Now that's whether it's here or here, doesn't matter, because they will block across here, whichever it's there or there. These 2 squares cannot be 7, right? Okay, now we have 7 blocking down here, and we have this 7 blocking across here. So in fact, there is only one square to get 7 there. Okay, so we're going forwards like number by number, inch by inch. Let's click on the 8s and see if there's anything useful there that we can find. But remember, the situation has changed now because we've got these 7s. So we might go back and find the earlier numbers that we can get now. Okay, now the same thing with this 9 is something very similar to the 7s. We have 9 blocking down here, and we have a 9 blocking down here. So in this block here, where do the 9s appear? Only in these 2 squares, right? So if we extend that downwards, we'll find that this square here can't be 9. This square can't be 9 because of this 9 up here. So we know that 9 must fit there. Okay. Right, so where to go from here? Let's examine this column here. All right, now what I want you to do is find the missing numbers in this column and then look to see if we have any intersecting numbers that match the missing ones. I'll give you a couple of seconds. Okay, right, so what you should have seen is that this square and this square are the empty squares, and the only numbers missing from this column are 2 and 8. That's what we need to complete this column, 2 and 8. When we look for intersecting numbers, we have to look along the same row, and guess what? We've found ourselves an 8, so we know that this can't be 8, it must be 2, and the 8 must be in that square there. Okay. We also have an 8 blocking up here now, so the 8 will fit in that square there as well. Now there's only one number missing here. The missing number is 2, so we'll put that in now. And this 2 will block down here, giving us a 2 there. And now there's only one number missing. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't have a 5 yet, so let's put the 5 there now. Ooh, looking very nice now, isn't it? Nice and full. The missing numbers here are 5 and 9. We look across here to see if we can get any help, and no, we are helpless, unassisted by any intersecting 5s or 9s. So we just hold off and say, okay, never mind, see you later. Numbers missing down here are 3, 5 and 6. Do we help? Can we get enough yet? Well, we've got a 6 and we've got a 3. But we only have 1, and that's not enough to find where the digits lie exactly. So no, we can't do that. What's missing across here? We don't yet have 3 and 5. Can we tell? No, we can't. We don't have any intersecting 3s or 5s in this that relate to these two squares. So that's no good. What's going on up here? What's missing? We don't yet have 3, 6 and 7. Aha, and now we've seen something. The missing numbers here are 3, 6 and 7. And down here, look at this, very conveniently in the same column happen to be a 6 and a 7. So this square here cannot be 6, cannot be 7, so has to be a 3. Okay, now we know 3 blocks down here, 3 blocks up here, 3 blocks across there. That's our 3, 3 across here, 3 blocking across here. That's our 3, and a moment ago we said 3 and 5 were missing here, so now we can place our 5. Okay. Are you enjoying Sudoku yet? I do hope so. I'll be doing this and you hate it. Right, we're going to look for the 2 in this block here. Have a look for the 2. Okay, I think that's long enough. We have 2 blocking up here, 2 blocking down here, and 2 across there. So we know that 2 goes there. And now we have completed 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're looking for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. It's looking much better now, isn't it? So let's find out what's missing where. Okay, can you find me an 8 in this block here? Okay, let's jump to it then. 8 blocking across here, 8 blocking up here, so that's our 8 there. Now we can say 8 blocking up here, 8 blocking up here. So this is our 8 there. We have just one number missing across this row, which is a 9. Let's fit that in 9 blocks down here, 9 blocks up here, so that's our 9. 9 blocks across here, so this is a 9. The last number here is a 5. 5 blocks right across this row here, so giving us this space for a 5. The last number here is a 6. Let's put that in. We have one empty square across this row. When you count through, you'll find it's a 7. 7 means this can't be 7. So 7 goes here. The last number here now is a 6. And now we have just one number to finish the whole grid. Now if you count through this way, or if you look down here, or if you look in this block, whichever, you'll find that the missing number is in fact a 6. 6 missing from the column, the row, or the block. Has to be the same number, of course. And that's our medium level, but really easy level, actually, to be honest with you, Guardian for Tuesday. And I hope you, if you're a complete beginner, you managed to pick up some stuff there. Okay, and carry on with us through the week as they get slightly more difficult and you learn some new things, hopefully. Okay, that's it. Bye-bye. See you later.